Izzy and this is Eden, and we're from the Yellowstone Wildlife Sanctuary.
It's part of our job here to make sure you all are bear aware. So this year, for Bear Awareness Week, we are bringing you 5 tips to live safely and responsibly with the bears in our community. Tip number 1 is all about prevention. Now in the wild, bears are naturally very shy and aren't aggressive, and attacks are really rare. There are a few more things you can do to prevent any sort of negative interaction that are really important to remember.
So one thing you want to do is you always want to be making noise when traveling through bear country. And whether that is singing a song, playing music, or clapping your hands, you just want to make sure that the bears know where you are at all times. And this is especially important whenever you're traveling through dense vegetation or when the bears are in hyperphagia.
We also recommend not hiking alone. If you're with a group, and the more people the better, the less likely you are to startle a bear, and if you happen to run into one, the more likely they are to want to get out of that area.
Another thing you want to do is always properly store your food. This is a tip that we're going to focus on a little bit more later.
Yeah, and our final one for preventing an attack is following what I like to call the rule of thumb. So if you're in the wild, of course, if you see a bear and it's in the distance, that's wonderful, get a picture of it. But if you are close enough where you stick out your thumb and you are not able to cover up that animal, like I cannot do with Blueberry right now, that means you are too close and you need to get out.
So for tip number 2, we're going to be talking about what to do if you find yourself suddenly too close to a bear. So we're going to be focusing on 2 types of scenarios, and these are what you're going to do whether you encounter a defensive or a predatory bear. First off, we're going to do defensive. So you can see she's being defensive and that she's just trying to warn me that she's here. She's not trying to attack. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up, try to give her space for her to escape and for her to get away if she needs. Now, if a defensive bear does make contact, what you want to do is you want to protect your stomach, get down on the ground, and kind of starfish. You want to make sure that that bear does not get to your organs. And if you do get flipped, you want to keep rolling.
Scenario number 2 is when you encounter a predatory bear, which is a bear being aggressive or actually attacking, like this one here. Ah! So in this scenario, you want to get really loud and big, wave around your arms and yell at the bear, "No bear, go away bear, go away bear." Whip out that bear spray, and that's when that bear gets close, you are going to engage your bear spray.
Tip number 3 is all about how to properly use bear spray. So first things first, you want to always have it accessible so you can pull it out on a moment's notice. Next, you want to have practiced how to get the safety off. It can be a little tricky, so you want to be able to do it quickly when the bear is coming at you. So when the bear is coming towards you, you want to wait till it's about 25 to 30 feet away, and then you want to spray at the ground in front of the bear. This way, if it's windy, it'll spray up towards the bear, not up over the bear. Another thing to keep in mind is you want to spray for about 2 to 3 seconds. There's only about 10 seconds of spray in the can. So if you want to be able to react more than once potentially, you need to have that saved.
Bear spray has been proven to be 90% effective on not just bears, but any predatory animals like moose and mountain lions. So make sure you always carry it with you when you're in the mountains. Tip number 4 is all about how to store your food properly to decrease a negative encounter with a bear. Now you need to check your local regulations because each place has their own rules, because bears are smart and they have figured out our systems and they've changed over time. But here in Yellowstone, they recommend a few different things. Number 1, keeping all your food and your smelly items, like if you have shampoo with you, if you're backpacking, deodorant, anything that you use to cook, like your pots and pans. Keep all of those items stored in hard-sided Sometimes they have locker bins or even your vehicle. That's the best option. If you don't have that option and you're going into the backcountry, they recommend using a bear hang, which is a way to hang bags like this up in a tree or off a cliff edge. And I'll drop a photo of how to do that here. You can find lots of videos online for the best techniques to do that. But they're very complicated and they take a lot of time to set up. So we actually recommend a few other options. This is one of them. This is called the sack, and this is a bear-proof sack, believe it or not. We also have bear cans, like the yellow one you'll see behind me, and they're way more bear-proof and foolproof as well. You can much more easily hide them. It takes 2 seconds to set up, and you just need to make sure they're at least 200 feet away from your campsite so you're not drawing bears into your campsite area. Using a regular old cooler with a loose top is not gonna do it. If bears find your cooler, if they find any even scraps left over from your picnic, they're gonna continue to come back to that area. They're gonna learn where to look for food, and it's going to lead to an unsafe scenario for that bear in the future. They might even need to be removed from the area. Our last tip for you today is about everyday storage of food and garbage. Now, if you live in bear country like we do here, your town will provide you with a bear-proof can, hopefully not like the one that I have behind me. Yours should lock, and make sure that every single day you are locking that can. I know it can be easy to forget, but even one time of leaving that can open, the bears will come by, smell the food, get into the food, and learn to associate bear cans with food. And they're so smart that they're gonna continue to come back. And that's called a habituated bear, a food habituated bear. And they can be dangerous. It can be dangerous for themselves, it can be dangerous for you, and sometimes that ends up with the bear being euthanized or taken to a place like the sanctuary and removed from their home. Also, make sure you don't leave food out in your backyard, on your picnic tables, because bears will learn that is where you find food as well, and they will come back. I have seen it. It happens. They learn quickly. If you're having trouble with bears, we actually loan out these for free. This is a pest deterrent. It has a light electric fence in the inside, and you can put it on or around your compost, small trash can, plants you are trying to grow, and it will teach the bear that that is a dangerous area to go to and build up a negative association with that area. So these are great options for you to do instead.